Today we have a very interesting story to study. It's called My Rolls and Piles of Coins by the Tanzanian author Tololwa and Mollel. What if I ask you what elements do you expect to have in a story? I'll give you a few seconds to think. Well, I hope your guessing is correct, because the first thing you need to see in a story is the characters. And they're the beings that act out in the story. They could be humans, animals, or even imaginary. Another important element you need to see and feel in a story is the setting, and it's the place and the time of the story. Also, you need to get engaged with the plot itself, and it's the beginning, middle, and end events of the story. The author usually begins the story by introducing the characters and the setting. Then the problem and suspense start to rise up in the middle. And finally comes the end to reveal the solution or the relief of the story. Now I want you to open your student book page 114 to reread and listen to the story. Enjoy!
Bicycle Dreams. The story is set in Tanzania. Saruni has been saving his money to buy a bicycle so that he can carry heavy goods to the market on the back of it. He has been learning to ride his father Moriti's bicycle. My rows and piles of coins. After several more lessons, Moriti let me ride on my own while he shouted instructions. Eyes up, arms straight, keep pedalling, slow down. I enjoyed the breeze on my face, the pedals turning smoothly under my feet, and most of all, Yiyo's proud smile as she watched me ride. How surprised she would be to see my new bicycle, and how grateful she would be when I used it to help her on market days. The heavy March came. The ground became so muddy, nobody went to market. Instead, I helped Yiyo with house chores. When it wasn't raining, I helped Moriti on the coffee farm. We pruned the coffee trees and put fallen leaves and twigs around the coffee. Whenever I could, I practiced riding Moriti's bicycle. It stopped raining in June. Not long after, the school closed. Our harvest fresh maize and peas, sweet potatoes, vegetables, and fruits was so big, market on Saturdays and Wednesdays. My money box grew heavier and heavier. I emptied the box, arranged the coins in piles and the piles in rows. Then I counted the coins and thought about the bicycle I would buy. After a few days, I grew confident enough to try to ride a loaded bicycle. With Moriti's help, I strapped a giant pumpkin on the carrier behind me. When I attempted to pedal, the bicycle wobbled so dangerously that Moriti, alongside me, had to grab it. All right, Saruni, load is too heavy for you, he said, and I got off. Mounting the bicycle to ride back to the house, he sighed wearily. And hard on my bones, which are getting too old for pedaling. I practiced daily with smaller loads, and slowly I learned to ride a loaded bicycle. No more pushing the squeaky old wheelbarrow, I thought. I would ride with my load tall and proud on my bicycle, just like Moriti. From My Rows and Piles of Coins by Tololwa M. Mollel. Word cloud. Chores. Pruned. Pumpkin.
Now let's discuss the text, which is telling us about Saruni, who is a hard-working boy with a big dream. He wants to buy a bicycle of his very own. For many months, Saruni works in the market to earn money, saving all of his coins in a special box. As he counts his coins each week, Saruni loves to dream about his future bike and how he will be able to use it to help his mother in the market. This might drive you to ask, what kind of kid is Saruni? Different character trait words like determined, patient, or hardworking may come across your mind now. Some sentences from the text would help you explain these traits like, has been saving his money to buy a bicycle, or, after several more lessons, Mariti let me ride on my own. Mariti here stands for his father. Or even a sentence like, Yuya's proud smile as she watched me ride. Yuya's here is his mother. Another sentence like, my money box grew heavier and heavier. All these sentences prove how much hardworking and determined he is. Another sentence from the text like, arrange the coins in piles and the piles in rows as shown in the picture would prove how much patient he is doing that. Having become a good bike rider, he set a new target for himself and worked hard toward it. Shown in the sentence as, the load is too heavy for you, he said, referring to the father, I got off. This explains that he didn't succeed from the first time, but did he give up? Well, last paragraph, the last sentence, explains it with a big no answer, saying, I practiced daily with smaller loads, and slowly I learned to ride a loaded bicycle. This proves that he worked hard on what he wanted. He followed his dreams. And this brings us to conclude the moral lesson of the story. You should keep working hard to follow your dreams. If I ask you what genre is this text, you would probably answer, it's fiction, it's a story. But do you know exactly what type of fiction it is? That's what we are going to learn now. This story is realistic fiction, which means it's a story that could really happen in real life. It's an imaginative writing that accurately reflects life as it could be lived today. Realistic fiction helps children move toward a fuller understanding of themselves and others. And this explains the realistic spirit around the story, since it was inspired by the early life of the Tanzanian author Tololwa Mollel. And here's his picture. A final word I'd like to say, that I want you always to follow your dreams till you reach out for the stars. May success shine on you always.